tell you, he enlarged his desire as hell.
There was an article that came out this week saying ever since Elon Musk was a little kid, he had in his mind that he wanted to own Mars.
So that's that bullshit, feeding kids dreams, right? And then letting this fucker actually do it.
Yeah. Hey, that nigga had, since he was a little kid, this nigga been talking to Elon Musk on a personal level, man. This nigga been talking to Elon Musk since he was in the womb, man. The own Mars. What kind of shit is that? You remember when you were born? Yeah.
How do you own and establish a whole planet? You know, that should be I don't know, man. Just like with the ocean, they have the international law and all this other maritime law. But who set up those rules? Men. Really, you're supposed to be able to go and travel anywhere you want in life, man.
Go freely.
Yeah. You don't got to be invited to everyone's city. Maybe they don't like the way you look. They close the gates on their ass. No, man, we're not taking you in today. But a lot of old cities relied on trade and foreign trade. You want people to come in and bring and sell and discover your things and go tell other people, so they'll bring in more money, more trinkets. Tourism, yeah. That's being a good merchant.
Never had the elders of the city sit at the gate, screening people. That would be like the passport stamping. What you here for? How long you gonna be here? Oh, I'm here looking for I'll be here, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly why in scripture speak about the wise men to wake up early and go to the gates. Because it was always cities that had gates, and that's where all the commerce was at. When you first walk into a city, you got all the buying and selling and trading.
Yeah, the wise men at the gates. You wanted wise men at the gates because they were like inquisitors. They're asking people, what's your business? What are you doing here? The stories add up. Maybe there was a messenger from 2 towns over. Hey, there's a murderer on the loose. Here's a description. Here's he kind of walks with a little limp or something. He should be limping. He's injured. All just all this stuff, man. Come on. Yep.
I got preset.
Yep.
Exactly like that.
Come
on. This is Wisdom of Solomon 11 and 18. There is that waxeth rich by his wantonness and pinching, and this is the portion of his reward. Whereas he saith, I have found rest, and now will eat continually of my goods, and yet he knoweth not what time shall come upon him, and that he must leave those things to others and die.
See? So, hey, you can't take your riches with you.
The Egyptians were trying to do that.
Right. Bury themselves with tombs and stuff. You can't take none of this stuff with you, man. So when you're born into this society, going back to being born into this place, hey, you think like, this American way, this wicked, westernized mindset, And Jake, our own people are just as guilty. Like, the music is one of the biggest influences, man. Music is a huge influencer for people. All that talk about, getting hoes, fucking hoes, doing drugs, selling drugs, and then you get Jake that actually does it. And then you get all these single moms, right? You get bitches like Lil' Kim, fuck niggas, get money, right? So they put it out there, and then you dumbasses listen to this bitch who has no education.
Yeah.
She's got no value in a real world of economy, of society. She's got no value for it, man. But you guys, people, hey, shit, I'm guilty too. I listen to dumbass music and let it, influence me. Who did it?
Right.
Who's not from the world?
Yep.
Shit, we're all from the world.
Right.
But at some point, you gotta become an adult. Typically when you're 16, you should be an adult. In some countries you are. In this country it's 18, right? 21 you can buy the alcohol.
And the cigarettes.
Cigarettes 21 now too, right?
Yeah.
And the cigarettes. You see what I'm saying? But you gotta grow up at some time. A lot of people don't grow up until they're fucking you know,
30,
30, 40, 50. Some people never grow up, man. You got people doing life sentences and they're still thinking like a goddamn teenager, man. You tell them something simple like, man, hey, go, I bet you won't go do that. You're like, nah, I ain't gonna do that shit. See, fool, I knew you weren't down, and then he'll go do it. He's like, I'm down, fool, I'm down. And he'll go do it. Like, what kind of child-ass mentality is this, man?
Yeah. So that's just like gangbanging.
That's exactly what it is.
Get put on. Go shoot that nigga. What? You want me to kill this nigga just to get put on?
Yeah, why?
He ain't down, nigga.
Yeah, what's the value behind this? Hey,
You know
guys,
what that is?
you know, like, what's the value?
That shit is crazy because just like in the gangbanging world, when you trying to get put on somewhere, you got to do some dirt. A lot of times it's committing murder. You know
Get your
what I'm
own
saying?
people too.
Yeah, and a lot of times you do that shit and you're gonna get caught.
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age.
Yeah, all the technology.
That's the same thing. It's different, but it's similar to the elites. When these elites, with the skull and bones, Freemasonry, and all that shit, there's a video I sent y'all brothers. When them skull and bones members get put on, they gotta lay in a coffin and masturbate and utter all their fantasies, their secrets, their perverse thoughts and all that. You know what I'm saying? And while other motherfuckers is standing around them, you know, just some more wicked ass shit. And they were saying there's different levels to that shit, to where, you know, you're blindfolded, and you know, they in one hand they put a fucking actual chopped off human head in your hand.
Yeah, but a head and a gun and another,
and
or
a knife,
another one. Yep,
a knife, and just did all kind of crazy ass shit. And a lot of times they do these things and they get the shit recorded and whatnot to use as leverage against you in case you fucking
Snitch
go
on.
against them. So with gangbanging, it's similar but it's different. You got to do some wicked shit to get accepted. And then in the world of Esau and these secret societies, you got to do wicked shit to get accepted as well.
Right. Who do you think taught our people about gangs, the activity and the culture that they have and they cling to now?
All that shit is
Esau,
Freemasonry.
Yeah,
All those
that's
hand
all it
signs,
is.
Yeah.
all the whole idea of getting jumped in or getting
Secret
put
society,
on.
that's
You
all
said that
it is.
clandestine
Handshakes.
shit. The clandestines bring the drugs into to all the uppers up in the gang community, the OGs.
Yeah.
The clandestine will bring them the
It
drugs.
was at J.P. Morgan had a boat.
Mm-hmm.
They got caught with the whole thing was just cocaine. You know, these ship containers. J.P.
Yeah.
Morgan on their boat. There's all this cocaine now. Now they're like, well, that's just the one that got caught, because
Right.
there's always the big one that gets caught, and they send everything else still coming through. But hey, the big one's got to get caught. We're gonna tip you off on the big one, but they're still gonna make all their money
That
regardless.
ain't even the big one.
Right.
No, it's just like construction. If you do your job so pristine and good, the motherfucker that's inspecting, he's gonna look for something to find, man, because he's looking for something to find because he's like, you're hiding something. So you always gotta fuck up something a little bit just to make him be able to put that sticker on there so he can feel a peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? That's what Esau does. They'll send so many boats through, but they want at least one or two of them to get caught, so it makes them feel like they're doing something.
That nigga was over there socking the concrete, man.
Oh, that's the dude that was throwing the rocks at those females when we walked up.
With the poncho on.
Hey, shit, he's about to preach.
Hey, you know what's crazy? this spot we're doing. The inspector came through, and this nigga is doing shit all ass backwards because you know a T if it's shorter than 8 feet. 8 feet or short, you don't gotta
on the wire.
yeah, you don't gotta put no perimeter wire on it. So
According to seismic code.
yeah, according to seismic code. But this nigga, there was T's that was longer than 8 feet that didn't have a whole row that was underneath some. It was crazy. It was kind of awkward to get a perimeter wire up there, but he passed that. But the shit that he should have passed, he didn't pass. So it's just this kingdom is all fucked up at the end of the day. But I got
That's what, and you see these the small nuances of it, because these are habits that are groomed into people from their birth.
Yeah.
This is being born into wickedness. This is why you have adults doing bullshit, man. Go ahead, preset.
and this is a chapter going in on Esau. This is Psalm 10:1. Why standest thou afar off, O Yahweh? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Crown Royal shit.
Yeah, hey, everything. Let them be taken in the devices that they've imagined. Who was that? Dave Chappelle. He was saying like, isn't it funny how? Because he was talking about, I think it was AIDS or whatever. But he's like, it's funny how all these things that affect, black people, don't affect old white people. So methamphetamine, drugs, and all this stuff. But now it's on the younger generation because they're so influenced by the Southern and Northern Kingdom, Negro, Latino, North American Indian peoples. Now all these young little white kids, they want to be blowing big smoke. They want to play with triggers. They want to be about that gunplay and all that stuff.
That lean life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that purple stuff.
Trying to, getting face tatted and all types of weird shit, man. So this is all what happens when you raise a child incorrectly. They do things incorrectly. Okay, and then they grow into their wickedness, man, and then they're set in their ways.
Seared.
Yeah, they're seared. Their consciences become seared.
That's why I should tell you, he that teaches his child agree with the enemy.
Right, and that's talking about, when you teach your child in the ways of righteousness, right, towards the obedience of the Heavenly Father, it grieves the enemy because it's breaking down his system. It's breaking down his cycle. See, what we're doing, it may not seem like much to a lot of people, but it's taking a stand and doing something in a physical presence rather than handing out a flyer to say everything that we can say or to have the breakdowns in a concise format, right? Just like what this stencil art on the sidewalk is doing. It's got a message for people to read it. Someone's voicing their opinion, but they're not physically here to do it. What are they sacrificing? You don't see their real passion. You might see, maybe they do this like in 20 other places around the city, right? But the second they go to stand out there when they put their face on camera and deliver their message, they'll probably get arrested or ticketed or fined,
Yeah, it's destruction of property.
Yeah, public property. Even if it can wash away, it's unsightly.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, look, man, this is us putting our lives on the line. This is what is that? Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. As people are making no account of our labor, but they'll accredit something like this, graffiti art, some public service announcement. But for what we're doing, we're not giving that accreditation. You see? So everything is upside down right now.
Psalm 10:3, it says, "For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth."
Right, and it said in the wicked they bless the covetous, those that are coveting, like Elon Musk.
Man, I was just about to say.
Yeah, right, because he's coveting Mars. He's coveting, the new power grid. He's coveting, the new currency, his Dogecoin. He's coveting all this stuff, and people are cheering him on. They're cheering him on. They're saying, yeah, you can get it.
Hey, all these elites that what was it, doubled or tripled their profits since the Corona Crown Royal shit happened? Yeah. The top 1% or whatever, they all tripled or whatever it was.
Yep.
Their wealth.
That's what happened in the 1920s. In the Great Depression, that top 1%, 5% of people, they got richer. They make money in the crisis. That's what's taking place.
Yeah.
They're trying, manufacturing is still going up. People are buying more stuff than before. The stock market is good. People are buying houses, even though it's a pandemic. The value of houses are going up, right? And then they're saying, oh, but there's all these jobs that people aren't working in. Well, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because you got, unemployment. There's not a lot of people that are unemployed. There's probably more than normal, but it's still not enough to offset everything because they're still reporting manufacturing up. A stock market is great. Housing is great.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They're getting wage increases are coming down the pipe. See?
They're still preaching peace and safety.
Right, peace and safety. So everyone's living the good life right now. No one sees that a problem coming because it's like a birthing pain. We had a birthing pain, everyone was freaking out, what's gonna happen, pandemic, this and that, but then it quieted back down. Now everyone rocked back to sleep. I thought the whole importance of being awake and being woke was to not go back to sleep. So you see, this fake woke.
They're sleepwalking.
Yeah.
And they're still sleepwalking.
Kaiser report.
Yep,
The Roaring '20s are back.
That's someone had said that. Anytime you want to see what's going to happen, study what happened 100 years ago. So you study the 1920s, you know what we're going to be going through. You study the 1930s, you know what we'll be going through.
Yep.
And when did World War I take place?
Teens, the teens,
Yeah,
14
15,
teens.
16.
So we're kind of overdue for a World War.
Yep.
But then there's another one coming up in what? In the 48?
40s?
In the 40s?
Yep.
So if we got to wait to the 40s for that World War III, so be it. You see what I'm saying? But patterns reveal a lot. Go ahead.
I was gonna say on that point, just on that point about patterns, the last so-called pandemic was in the early 1900s, around this time in 1919, 1918, that type of
Spanish
area.
flu, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is Romans 13 and 11, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed.
Right. So it's high time to wake out of sleep. If you're woke or you're conscious about something, you can't go to sleep on the information. You got to act on it, man. And that's what we're saying. Look, you got to act on it. So this is being born again. Because when you're born into this world, naturally you're born into wickedness. You're born into the bad habits of men. So being born again is putting off all those old and bad habits and not being some 18-year-old minded 45-year-old on a construction site, man. Or in an office building. Or behind the sandwich deli, whatever the fuck you do, whatever you retail mechanic, I don't know, whatever you do. You can't just be this little fucking kid all the goddamn time.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna say one of the brothers on the WhatsApp had put up a short clip of this 13-year-old that was stuck in an infant's body.
Oh.
And this little Edomite, red face and shit. 13 years old, but he's stuck in an infant body. And the way he says hello is like this. You know, like a fucking devil, like a gun, you know what I'm saying? And he'd be like, that's the way he says hello, man.
Can it talk?
No, he's a fucking 13-year-old stuck in an infant's body. He's like all fucked up, retarded and shit.
Damn.
But brother was saying, you know, that's the spirit of Esau. The way you say hello is a dude put up
That's
a
all
gun.
you can do, yeah. The spirit had it on him to pull the trigger.
Yeah, man.
He's telling you his birthright.
Or he's asking to be taken out.
Or yeah, take me out, please.
Something's good. He's probably suffering.
Hey, two was it two to the chest?
Kill
6 in the head, 2 to the shit.
Yo, what's that?
But you see, this is the whole point of being born again, man. Or being born into something that actually has a purpose and a meaning in life, man. Because wickedness, it doesn't last long. It doesn't go anywhere. Oh yeah, I've seen this little guy before.
Make sure they dead. Dying.
Look like Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, he looks like a Russian.
Damn.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on, man.
Man.
You know. But
That little fucking thing is terrible.
it looks like a baby gorilla, like an albino gorilla. Man.
Oh, the hairless chimps?
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is 1 Peter 2 and starting at 1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. If so be you have tasted that the Lord is gracious.
You see? So all those traits that were listed, those are traits that you get from the world, man. That's what the world teaches you, maliciousness, man, covetousness. The world teaches you these things. Because you'll see your parents, your guardians, adults ahead of you, your elders, pine away at their wants and their lusts and their desires. And so, you know, they might be doing something as harmless as spending time with you, taking you to a car show, but you're seeing them lust and covet over things. So even though you think, oh, this is a bonding moment, me and my child, you're actually showing them a deeper trait. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, there's certain parents who have, you know, they'll be in their early mid-20s and have children, multiple children, and them still wanting to be in that child mentality and fulfill their flesh, their lust. They'll pawn their kids off on family members to watch while they go out and party and get drunk and have fun and whatnot, and expect the grandparents to watch the kids, you know?
Or their kids.
That's the problem. There's too many young people having children. You got all these 20-year-olds that don't even know how to. Hell, they used to teach you how to balance a checkbook in school.
Yep.
They used to teach you, about money and taxes to a degree. They've been doing it less and less, and now I don't even think they do.
No.
I don't even think they teach people about money now because everything's so digital. You just trust it. Oh, $399 and tax, and okay, you're just looking at. Oh yeah, it looks good, and you walk out the door. You don't crunch the numbers for yourself.
So you got programs and apps that do all your computing for you. You ain't gotta do nothing, but do a direct deposit. They tell you where all your money went, for the year, for the month. They'll break it all down to you.
So as the scripture was saying, but rather as newborn babes desire the sincere word of the sincere milk of the word, that you may grow thereby. If you taste it, the Most High is gracious, man. Mm-hmm. So being able to receive this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is far more superior than being something in this world, because this world is temporal. All these people that, I got so many followers and this, that, the third. Where are those people going to be at, 5-10 years from now? What is you giving them your attention and your time and your energy? What is that really doing for you? Serving that chemical, getting that chemical satisfaction, man. That's you see what I'm saying? Everyone's pursuing after their own lust. That covetousness, that malice, that's a habit you got to get rid of. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? It appears innocent, at the surface level. But when you start breaking it down, well, what's that actually doing to somebody? It's disrupting their whole growth. How you doing? How's it going?
I didn't want to interrupt.
No, you're fine. You got any questions?
Yeah, what's going on?
So I don't know if you probably heard about the Hebrew Israelites. Maybe not.
Yeah.
So the Negroes, Latino, and North American Indian people, right? We got colonized, we got conquered, we got renamed, we got our heritages, beat out of us and told we were these other things. But as we've done our research, other explorers coming to this new world, bringing Hebrew translators, and finding out that we were actually reciting fundamental credos of that we had, like the Shema prayer, Shema Yasha Allah, Allah Hayyanawa Yahweh Akkad, which means, "Hear, O Israel, our God is one." Our people were saying these things, wearing the fringes on our clothing, ponchos, Native American apparel, telling time by the moon, as the scriptures say, the new moon, that's where we get the word month from. So we found out that we're actually these tribes. We're actually these people. So, it's got to make you question, well, where did these other bywords come from? Well, the scriptures tell us that we were going to, for our disobedience, that we would be put under oppression and bondage, okay, and that we would lose all of our heritage, that we would be speaking a language in a land that we never knew. I'm third generation American, assimilation complete. I got the light skin and the straight hair, everything my grandmother wanted for my father, because he was so dark, as a so-called Puerto Rican, he would get bussed also, and he'd have to fight every day, So this is who the world tells us that we are, but this is actually what the scriptures say that we are. And it's within our spirit. So the Hebrew Israelites are these people. So we're just Hebrew Israelites. It's our cultural identity. To be quite honest. But you're going to have a vast majority, as the scriptures say, 2/3 of our own people. They're not going to receive this gift because it's not for them. This is where you go into Revelation. It talks about 144,000, 12,000 out of every tribe. That's where you get that 144,000. And then it says, and then there was also a large multitude out of every nation, kindred, and tongue. And that again goes back into the curses in Deuteronomy, which says, for your disobedience, I will scatter you throughout all nations on the planet. And that's where we get the other large multitude, that 1/3, as pertaining to Zechariah. It says 2/3, 2 parts therein shall be destroyed, but 1 part shall be brought through the fire. So we have Israelites that believe, and they might even look like the so-called white people, or East Indians, or Chinese, or Japanese, and vice versa. Like Lenny Kravitz, he looks black, but his lineage actually goes back to the so-called white people. He's a Jewish. His father is Jewish. So even though someone might look like one of these people,
White people aren't race.
no, that's a whole nother. That's
We
a whole
don't have
nother.
races, right?
That's a whole nother wormhole. The so-called white man, because that's a new term.
Yeah.
Before that, there was always the term Caucasian. Before that, you go back a little bit further, you had the Bulgars.
Anglo.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So what you will find in the Bible are these names though: Israel, Edom, Elam, Ashur, Aram, Ishmael. Right. That's in a nutshell. What we're doing is we're out here to wake up
Very interesting.
those that can receive it and those who can't.
I don't
won't.
know too much, but my husband is Afro-Cuban,
Okay.
and so I've studied a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
what you might know as Santeria,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
they call
That's witchcraft.
Yeah. It's right. And that's their religion, so to speak.
that's
Right.
witchcraft. That's actually a colonial term for their Afro religion.
Right. Yeah, and it's also within the scripture. I think that's what you're going to grab, basically, suffering out of which to live. But that's how we know that these people are actually
He's
our
helped me
people.
kind of decolonize a little bit of religion through his religion.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, well, that's the whole thing. We're in an age of enlightenment, right?
Good on you guys.
All right. Take it easy. Yep. Yeah. So what do they call the age of enlightenment? So we have all this ability to learn with smartphones and technology, but how many of people on a day-to-day basis are actually using this free information to educate themselves, to understand and actually, come to truth? Because at the end of the day, what's truth? We can have our opinions, and the battle of semantics. Well, witchcraft, that's the easiest way for us to understand a common language. It's just like with an electrical system. There has to be a universal language, a common language that's going to be spoken. Is it AC or DC current that we're talking about?
You gotta have terminology.
Right. What's the amperage? What's the load? So everything can talk and communicate to itself properly.
Yep.
So that's all, conversation is an exchange of information.
This is Exodus 22 and verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
Yeah. Which is to the point. But like I was going to say, it was he said it's Afro-Cuban into the Santeria. That's how we know even that these people are our people, because it tells you that Levi, the Haitians, are an instrument of cruelty into that voodoo and hoodoo. And that's where, Buharia, which Buharia literally, that literally means witch. Literally witchcraft. Now we call it a colonial term because it's still Spanish, which the main conquerors were Spanish or so-called white people.
Yeah.
You see, they weren't calling themselves white. That's a new term.
Yeah, this is on Wikipedia, witchcraft in Latin America. It says various types of witchcraft and quote religious practices exist in Latin America.
Right.
Exists in Latin American and Afro-Caribbean cultures known in Spanish as brujeria, influenced by indigenous religion, Catholicism, and European witchcraft. The purpose may range from benevolent white magic to evil black magic.
Yep. So you see there's a left and a right with everything, right? But even though they call it the white magic, and they say you'll associate it with good, you see how that white comes in, white magic, dark magic.
Yeah.
You'll associate the white with good, and that's what the so-called white man has done as he's taken that title.
Yeah.
The self-proclaimed white man.
And this is Santeria from Wikipedia. Santeria, also known as Regla, how you say it?
Regla de Ocha. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
No idea.
Is
Something of 8, kings of 8 maybe, I don't know.
Is an
Royalty
African
of 8?
is an African diasporic religion that developed in Cuba during the late 19th century. It arose through the process of syncretism between the traditional Yoruba religion of West Africa and Roman Catholicism of Christianity and Spiritism. And initiatory tradition, its adherents are known as creyente, if I'm saying that correctly, which is believers. There is no central authority or control of Santeria, which is organized through autonomous groups.
So that's similar to us. There is no head office, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? You just got groups of Israelites out there. So there's not like there's a church office for the Catholics or the Christians. There's no church office for Israelites. You know, not in that sense. You know, it's more spiritual than that. It's more spiritual than that. Okay. So we're yeah, go ahead.
Pertaining to that, because that dude was a sodomite.
Yeah, I knew you were itching.
Yeah, this is Leviticus 20 and 13.
Sounds together well, yeah.
If a man also lie with mankind as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination that shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them.
Yep. So you see that, so you don't got to worry about it. It's like, man, hey, it's on him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what that's the Most High giving you an easy pass, like that easy button.
Yeah.
Just push the button. Just push the button. Hey, the blood's on them. So it'd be funny when you think about it like that. Like if your whole purpose was to go down to like San Francisco and just condemn sodomites, the Most High already told, hey, the blood's on them, bro.
Yeah.
Chill out.
Yeah.
Go teach and talk about something else. You know?
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
more,
I was just
just
thinking
because,
that.
you know, there's more edifying things. You know? And if you're going to San Francisco to push the word, you're kind of out of your fucking mind because you already know what's down there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't make any sense.
Even though there are brothers out there. You know.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's like if you're going down to Tacoma over here, there's a certain street. You don't want it. Yeah, no, not 6th. It's where all the gay bars are. It's like 4 or 5 blocks
There's a
over.
street with gay bars down here?
Yeah.
Seattle, you know?
I didn't know that.
Every
thinking
area
Earth?
got it. Seattle's got the rainbow sidewalks.
Capitol Hill.
I already know. I already know. Seattle got Capitol
Greenwich
Hill. They got a
Village in
whole.
New
They got a
York.
whole neighborhood
You
in
know,
Seattle.
every city, every state has its area where it's like, oh, that's them.
Area.
That's them.
Yeah.
Downtown
Sodom
Olympia.
and Gomorrah.
New York got a Broadway that's faggots too.
This is a big ass
The
strip.
apostle we talking about.
Greenwich Village, yeah.
Oh shit.
And that's probably just one of many. There's probably like several out there because it's so big. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, long story short, right? What he said, one thing he said that was kind of interesting was that he said his husband or whatever is helping him to decolonize